Hi yoga fam, welcome to today's yoga class. I'll just wait for a little while to see if anyone pops on. If you can tell me if you can see me and hear me really clearly. It's a beautiful day up here, up on the top of my mountain in Buderim on my balcony, and I hope that my kids will stay quiet for the next half an hour and a half so that I can bring you this yoga class. So I'm hoping that you've gathered some props together if you'd like to use them. A bolster or a large pillow. You could just get a squab off your couch. A yoga strap if you would like to use it, or just a dressing gown cord or a tie, something to improvise with. A blanket so that you can pop that under your neck or your knees, your back, anywhere you need it on your practice. You can pop that on your mat. And perhaps a little cushion to sit up on. If you have a yoga block would be wonderful, but you can also improvise by just using a couple of big books instead. Have some water with you and a shawl or something for relaxation. So, we'll get started sitting up on your blanket or your cushion now. And find a comfortable position, a comfortable cross-legged position if that's comfortable for you. So just Sukhasana, or maybe having your legs extended, whatever works for you. Going to have a nice tall spine now. Bring the palms to the thighs. Take a deep breath and draw back so you lengthen up through the spine. And as you exhale, soften the shoulder blades down the back. Close down the eyes now, lifting the gaze just above the horizon line, as if you're watching a sunset on a horizon, and starting to notice your breath, maybe for the first time today. You can have your palms up on the knees if that feels good for you, and perhaps your hands in chin mudra, thumb and forefinger touching. Just noticing the breath without trying to change it. And now starting to lengthen the breath from the earth, right up through the center of the body, up to the point between the eyebrows. And as you exhale, let it flow back down into the earth. Just come to a comfortable count for you. Using a soft Ujjayi breath. Keeping your mind on the sound of your breath rising and falling in the body. And feeling the breath from your center up to the skin and back into the center. Softly open the eyes now. I'm going to bring the hands to the belly and practice a few rounds of Prana Shakti Mudra. So the prana is the upward rising prana. We're going to inhale, float the arms all the way up the center line, and then open the arms up to the sky. As you exhale, gather all that energy back, and the up and the prana flows back down through the body. Inhale, let the breath rise up. Open your arms out to the sky. Exhale, take the hands all the way back down. This time we can do a couple of rounds, if it feels good for you, with an exhale through the mouth. And maybe even coming into Simhasana, where you poke the tongue out as you exhale. Bit of fun. Inhale. Exhale. all the breath out, getting rid of any stagnant energy in the body. Inhale. Opening ourselves up. Exhale. Bringing the hands back to the knees. Let's tune into our center now by taking some small circles around the center of the body, the spine. Take them in each direction. And then start to take the circles a little larger, leaning forward, leaning back, maybe getting your shoulders involved, coming to the other direction. One more time each side. And come to your center. Bringing the hands to the heart now. We'll bow the mind down into the wisdom of the heart and take a moment to set an intention or dedicate your practice this morning. Atha Yoga Nushasanam, with great respect and love. Now we come to the practice of yoga. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll inhale, stretch the arms all the way up to touch the light. And exhale the hands around the body and place them on the knees. As we inhale, let's lengthen up through the spine. Bring the chest forward slightly into spinal extension. And as we exhale, let's round the back into spinal flexion, tucking the chin. Inhale, rocking forward. Exhale, rounding the back, drawing the navel into the spine, tucking the chin. Inhale, back to center. We're going to slide our feet now to the front of the mat, bringing the soles of the feet together. You can stay on your cushion if that's more easeful. Place the hands on the knees and we'll take a diamond flow. Inhale, spinal extension. Exhale, round the back, slide the hands down towards the ankles, tuck the chin. As you inhale, draw in through the navel, slide the hands back up to the knees, chest comes forward, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Exhale, this time maybe coming a little deeper, just however it feels good for your body. Inhale, draw in through the navel, slide the hands up, spinal extension. Next time we're going to round the back, come down and hold. So I'm holding my head up so that you can hear me clearly. The head is completely relaxed. You might be able to fold your arms, resting your forehead on your arms, or hold on to your feet if you're more flexible. Taking some deep breaths here. Breathing into the back of the body. Exhaling through the front of the body, softening and awakening. Opening through the back door of the heart and letting the hips gently open. Next, inhale, draw in through the lower body, slide the hands back up and bring the knees together. We're going to come to all fours now. So you might like to have a blanket under your knees for a little bit more support. Bring the hands under the shoulders if it's good for your wrists, or you might want to take them out a little bit further. And the knees come under the hips. We're going to take a table to a child vinyasa now. So inhaling here in a neutral spine. And we're going to exhale back to child's pose. If you're less flexible, fold your arms, rest your forehead on your arms. Inhale back to table. Exhale back to child's pose. Inhale to neutral. This time tucking your toes and coming into puppy pose. Slide your hands forward and stretch back into your feet. Walk the hands back up, untuck the feet, and we'll come to our first balance pose. So now bringing your left arm up, See if you can bring your right leg back, press out through the heel and find your balance in your core. Looking out gently in front of you. As you exhale, bring the hand and the knee down. Changing sides now. Right arm comes out and left leg comes back. Finding your balance. Breathing smoothly here. Hand comes down, knee comes down, and we'll take open child. Knees to the outside of the mat, cross the big toes, and soften down into your hips. Again, folding your arms, if that's better for your body, or stretching your arms out. If your chest comes to the floor, feel free to bring one cheek to the side, and then the other. Coming back up to all fours now. We're going to tuck the toes and transition into our first downward facing dog. Knees are bent.
Mom, it's important. No, Mom, we found
Inhale.
we found a stray dog on the street.
And as you exhale, bend the knees, bring the heels towards the floor. A little bit of a family emergency here. Just a moment, I'll shut the door. A stray dog on the street. My daughter can handle that. So the knees are bent. The hips are lifted up towards the sky. And you're going to sway your hips just gently from side to side. Noticing how your lower back and your hamstrings are feeling. We'll bend the left knee. Bring the right heel towards the floor. And now bend the right knee. And bring the left heel towards the floor. Once more each side. And now step the feet together, bend the knees, and step through to the front of the mat. We're going to inhale, float the arms all the way up towards the sky, bring them out, and exhale into our first Tadasana, standing mountain pose. You can have your feet together or your feet hip width apart. Just notice what energetically feels better for you. Take a shoulder roll. Bring the palms forward. Anchor down from your feet. Draw strength all the way up through the legs. Pelvis is open. And we're going to bring the chin slightly back into the throat. Close down your eyes here and see if you can feel your perfect pose this morning as we start our practice. Strong like a mountain. And bringing the hands to the heart now. We're going to inhale, take an expanded heart breath, arms go wide. Exhale, bend the knees and bow down to the earth. Inhale, we're going to step the right leg back into a high lunge pose. So this is where a block could be beneficial, or 2 blocks under your hands. You're going to stretch back with that back leg, get nice and strong. Draw your fingers back towards you a little bit and open through the throat. Exhale, we're going to bring our right knee down to the mat. Either walk the hands up to your left thigh or float the arms behind you, then all the way up, straightening the front leg. And exhale the hands to the heart into our first knee down lunge. You could stay with your hands to the heart or the hands to the hips if that was better for you. Or we're going to bring the hands behind us. Inhale, start to squeeze the shoulder blades together. And exhale, hold. Lifting up through the pelvic floor, maybe looking up if it feels good. Release the arms up to the side and bring them back down. We're going to inhale here now and either step back to all fours if that's better for you, or step back to plank pose. Stretch out through the fingers, press forward into the finger pads, squeeze the bottom, press the heels back towards the wall, and bend the elbows coming down to lying. We're going to start with Sphinx pose now. tucking the elbows into the body. Stretch back with your legs. Anchor down through the legs, and the forehead comes to the floor. As we inhale, we're going to draw the fingers back, lift up through the chest, and maybe take the heart through the hands a little bit more. Feel free to close down the eyes. Notice the breath in the upper chest. Breathing smoothly here. Finding that beautiful lower back stretch. And exhale, lay the heart back down. Slide the hands further back to under the shoulders now. Tuck the elbows into the side. And we're going to rise up into a baby cobra, just up to the belly button. Forehead comes down. Press the hands down. Inhale, rise up. And as we exhale, bend the elbows. Again, the legs stay strong. Breathing into the throat chakra. And exhale, back down to the floor. Tuck the toes, lift up and back to downward facing dog, either through table or all the way up through plank and back into your downward facing dog. Find your pose again as if it's brand new and move however your body feels to. Come right up onto the balls of the feet. And as you exhale, slowly bring the heels towards the floor. Relax through the back of the neck and notice how you feel. Step the feet together now. Inhale, the right leg lifts up to the sky. And as you exhale, either in 1 or 2 steps, step forward to the front of the mat into your high lunge pose. Bringing your fingertips to the mat or your hands on blocks. As you inhale, draw the fingers back towards you, open through the heart, and find your perfect alignment on your front knee, either back from or at 90 degrees. Back leg is strong, pressing back behind you. Inhale. And exhale, bringing your left knee down to the mat. You can walk your hands up to the right thigh, or inhale, float your arms back, and then all the way up, this time into Hakini Mudra above the crown of the head. Exhale, finding your knee down lunge. As you inhale, lift up through the pelvic floor, send a line of energy right up to the sky, and exhale, float the hands back to the floor. Next, inhale, we're going to retract back with the front leg, bend the back knee, spring forward, and up to an easy Ardha Uttanasana. So this is where the legs are straight and the back is also flat. As you exhale, stretch your hips back a little bit more. Smooth, even breath. And as you exhale, bend the knees, slide the hands to the ankles, elbows go wide, coming into our first Uttanasana. Let the crown of the head lead you towards the floor and the hips lift up a little higher over the heels. Feel free to keep your knees bent as much as you need to if you have any lower back sensitivity. Next, inhale, we're going to come up through reverse swan dive. Arms go wide, all the way up to the sky. And exhale, the hands to the heart. Stand in Tadasana for a few moments. Notice how you feel. Tune back into the breath. And take the hands to the heart. Step the feet together now. We're going to inhale straight up the midline. Squeeze the bottom now. And as we exhale, we're going to take the hips to the right and lean to the left. If this is a little too strong, you can bring your other hand to the hip. You can keep looking down at the floor for more balance, or gently turn your head with your cheek nestled into your inner arm. Keep squeezing the thighs together. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, the hands to the heart. Inhale, straight up the midline. Again, taking one hand to the hip if you prefer. Inhale. And exhale, we're going to take the hips to the left, Lean to the right, squeezing the thighs, enjoying the beautiful opening of the rib cage. Turning the head if that feels good for you. Inhale back up to center and exhale the hands behind the back. As you inhale, interlace your fingers, gently bring the shoulder blades together, and as you exhale, bend the knees and start to come down into your forward bend. You can leave your hands on your lower back or take your arms up into a shoulder stretch. Hold for a few breaths. And then release the hands to the lower back and slide them down the legs. Inhale, right leg steps back into a high lunge pose, and we're going to come up to standing. If you have a block or a book, have it so that you can bring it to the inside of your front foot. Easy way is to walk the hands up to the thighs, or again, inhale, float the arms back, float them all the way up to standing, and exhale, take the arms out wide as you come down into your lunge. Inhale, up out of your lunge, touch the fingers, exhale, back into your lunge. Then bring the hands wherever you're comfortable. So front knees tracking over the first two toes, back leg is nice and strong. Inhale, arms all the way up. And exhale, float the hands back to the floor, preparing for our first twist. Taking the block, if you're going to use it, to the inside of your front foot. Right hand comes to the block, left hand comes to the hip, and we're going to gently start to turn from the heart, making sure this knee stays nice and stable. Maybe this is your twist for today, or if you'd like to go deeper, arm comes out to the side or all the way up into your rotation. Keep stretching back with the hips, keep lengthening through the rib cage. Exhaling, floating that arm back down, popping the block out to the side. Inhale, we're going to step back to either all fours or to plank, you choose. And as you exhale, bend the elbows, make your way down to the earth. We'll take some locust variations now. So stretching your arms out on the mat first. Plant your pelvis down to the floor. You might be more comfortable with a blanket under you. And stretch from the armpits to the fingertips, from the groins to the toes, pressing the top of your feet down to the floor or lifting up through the kneecaps. Inhale here. We're going to lift the left arm and the right leg, gazing down at the floor and counterbalancing by pressing into the right palm and the left thigh, stretching away in opposite directions. Exhale, back down. Inhale, right arm, left leg stretch now. Gaze down at the floor, counterbalance by pressing into your left palm, right thigh, and exhale, back down. This time we're going to stretch back with the legs again, and inhale, legs, chest, and maybe arms, or keep the arms on the floor if that's better for you. Inhale the arms out to the side, and exhale the arms alongside the thighs. Keep breathing here. Exhale, relax. We'll take the arms out to the side, cheek to the floor. Take a few nourishing breaths. Then place the hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, and we'll transition back into our downward facing dog. Lifting up and back. Find equal energy through both hands and both feet. Lift up through the belly, stretch the hips up, and relax through the back of the neck. Stepping the feet together now. Inhale, right leg lifts. And exhale, in one or two steps, bring that foot to the front of the mat. Have your block ready. If you find it harder to balance, take a shorter, wider pose. Think railway tracks rather than tightrope. Inhale, either the right hands to the right thigh or float the arms back. And inhale all the way up. And exhale, finding your knee down lunge. Inhale, the arms all around the body and up. And exhale to Hakini Mudra. Elbows go wide, heart opens. If it feels good for you, maybe you can take a little upper back bend and look up towards the sky. Long, smooth breaths. Exhaling, floating the arms back down, popping your block if you're going to use it on the inside of your front foot. Left hand comes to the block, right hand comes to the hip. So watching that this front knee stays nice and stable, start your rotation from the heart. Stretch back with your back leg and either stay here or stretch your right arm out to the side, then all the way up into your rotation. You could look down at your front foot, out to the side, or tuck the chin, looking up towards the sky. Deep, smooth breaths. Exhaling, floating that arm down. Take your block out to the side. We're going to retract back, spring forward, slide the hands up into Ardha Uttanasana. If you're more flexible, your hands may be able to be lower. And exhale into Uttanasana. Initiate with the knees bent. Slide the hands down. You could take your fingertips to the floor or behind your ankles, drawing yourself into a little ball. Bring nearly all your weight towards the front of your feet so that your hips lift up. Inhale, we're going to release the arms, float them all the way up to standing. Arms out wide, and exhale into Tadasana. How are you feeling now? Maybe your energy is right up to your fingertips. Body's awakening and enjoying the flow. Bringing the hands to the hips now. We're going to take our first triangle pose. So we're going to come into Trikonasana by bringing our right foot forward and our left foot back to about a heel to instep alignment. If your hips are a little tighter, perhaps move the toes in so that the hips will rotate. The idea is ideally to keep both legs straight, but if you need to bend the front knee, please allow it to do so. You can also have a block that you can place here, or you can just bring your hand to the leg. So we'll start with our hands on the hips. Inhale, lift all that strength, that earth energy up through the legs, and exhale. As you inhale, lift up through the pelvic floor, send that light right up to the heart, and start to fold over your front hip. Back hip goes back, back, back until you've found your maximum stretch. Then slide your hand down to wherever it wants to be. Or you can bring your hand to a block or up to the thigh. It's your practice. As you inhale, slowly roll open that top shoulder and start to find your pose now, breathing on your own. If you want to, you can keep your hand on your hip or float that arm up and bring lightness into the pose. Drawing all that light energy down through the body and all that strong energy up from the earth. Exhaling, we're going to take that arm over the air for a nice deep stretch all the way from the hip to the fingertips. And then as you exhale, bend your front knee, turn the back heel, and we'll bring our fingertips down to the floor for a pyramid pose. You might need to go shorter and wider here. And if you have a block, have that block on the inside of your front foot. We're going to come up to standing now. Deep breath in, draw in through the lower belly, and straighten both legs. You can just keep your hands on your hips. You could interlace your fingers, or you could take your inner elbows here. Take a deep breath in right up through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, trying to keep your legs straight if you can, both feet on the floor, start to come over your front thigh and stop at your point of first resistance. Start to breathe into that. And then if a door opens to go deeper, you can start to come deeper. If your arms bother you, release them and bring them to the floor, or bring them to a block for a more easeful pose. Inhale, drawing through the lower belly, come all the way up to standing. And we're going to bring both feet forward, heels in and toes out for a nice deep squat. You can have your hands to the heart. Inhale and exhale. Start to come down into your squat. Move from side to side. Anchor your feet down into the floor. And after you exhale, lift up through the pelvic floor, straight up the midline of the body. You can stay here, or for more of a challenge, bring your arms up above the head like a beautiful goddess. You can straighten your legs and come back into the pose. And inhale, straighten the legs and bring the hands to the heart. Bring the hands to the hips now. Turn both feet forward. If you have that block, place it in front of your face for a rotation. Inhale, strong straight legs. Exhale, start to bring the hips back behind you. And you might have that block there to place your hands on, or just bring your fingertips to the floor. Relax through the back of the neck, taking your legs as wide as you can. So if you don't have a block, just bring your right fingertips in front of the face. Take your left hand, sweep it out over to the side. That might be enough for you, or all the way into a rotation. Smooth breaths here, opening through the body. Exhale, float that arm down. Inhale, right arm sweeps out. Maybe you're going to stay here, or again, come all the way up, shoulder upon shoulder. And exhale, the hands to the floor. We're going to shimmy our feet back to the center of the mat. Inhale, come up, reverse swan dive. And exhale, the hands to the heart. We'll take another balance pose here, coming into Vira 3. So stepping towards the front of the mat, bringing the hands to the hips now. Get strong in your left leg. And as you exhale, start to bring your chest forward. If you feel you want to keep your right foot on the floor, you can. Or start to bring your right leg up, keeping your hands on your hips, or maybe stretching your arms out, hands in chin mudra, flying through the sky. Bring the hands back to the hips, bend the front knee, and step the back foot back. We're going to change legs now. Right leg comes forward, left leg goes back slightly. Start to lean forward. And maybe bring your left leg up and your arms out to the side. Bend your right knee, bring both feet together, and we'll come into our Tadasana. Bringing the palms forward, closing down the eyes if you're not dizzy. Feeling the effects of the flow. Bring the hands to the hips now. We're going to bring the left foot forward and the right foot back and take our flow on the other side now. So Trikonasana, inhaling here, strength from both legs all the way up into the body. As we exhale, starting to lean forward over that front hip. Coming down, down, down to wherever you feel comfortable. As you inhale, roll your top shoulder open. And as you exhale, either stay here, breathing smoothly, or float that arm up and catch the wind in your sail. Next, exhale. Either stay here or stretch your arm over your ear, tucking the chin, getting a beautiful stretch, like a paintbrush stroke from the back foot to the fingertips. And then as you exhale, bend the front knee and bring the hands down, turning the back foot to face forward. Having your block if you'd like to. We're going to inhale, follow the arms back, and exhale into your arm position of choice. You could just have your hands together or hold onto your inner elbows. Inhale. And as we exhale, with both feet on the floor, both legs straight, start to come forward, stretching the hips back, and just pause where you first start to feel the stretch. Release the arms if they bother you, perhaps coming down a little more, and then finding your edge, belly towards thigh, foreheads towards shin, bringing the hands to the floor. Next, inhale, lift the head up, walk towards the front of the mat, and step the feet to the front of the mat. We're going to take garland pose now, sitting our hips down towards our heels. Now, if your heels don't come to the floor, it's really great to roll your mat and place your heels on your mat is a good trick. Take the inner elbows into the thighs, press the palms together, and start to squeeze the thighs into the arms and the arms into the thighs. Breathing into the upper chest. And on the next exhale, release the hands to the floor, and we're going to step back to all fours. Sitting back on the heels, bringing the palms up, closing down the eyes for a few breaths. We're going to come down to the floor now. So roll your hips over to your right side. Bring the legs around and bring the hips towards the heels. We're going to come down on one forearm, then the other, and come down to lying. Palms up to the ceiling, stretch the legs out, and bring the hands to the belly. We'll come to full yogic breath, belly, chest, throat, throat, chest, belly. Belly, chest, throat, throat, chest, belly. And notice how good it feels to let your whole body relax down into the earth. From here, we'll bring the feet, the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide so that we're in Supta Baddha Konasana, the reclining butterfly. Bringing your hands back to your belly, we're going to take a couple of strong pelvic floor draws, very strong Mula Bandha. So we're going to take a deep breath in, take all the breath out, and draw the pelvic floor muscles inwards and upwards, and see if you can hold that contraction right up where your hands are while you still breathe into the upper chest. And then slowly let it go from top to bottom, relax completely. We'll do that again now. Take a deep breath in, all the breath out. Draw inwards and upwards and see if you can take that flame all the way up to your heart now. Holding the contraction so you feel your whole back flat to the floor and your belly coming down into the earth. You still breathe into the upper chest. And now relax, let it flow down from top to bottom. Bring one foot at a time to the floor now. And two options here. You can either have your hands behind your head if that feels comfortable, or your arms along the sides. Bring one knee at a time in towards the chest. And we're going to stretch the left leg out. Keep the right leg flexed. As we exhale, come up. So that's the movement there. Or you have your hands behind your head. And as we inhale, knees come to chest. Exhale to the other side. Either arms extended or hands behind the head. And inhale, relax back down. Exhale. Inhale, relax. Exhale. Inhale. Finding the rhythm of your own breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And bring the knees to the chest. Give them a good squeeze into the body, waking up all the internal organs. Flex the feet for a deeper stretch and sway a bit from side to side. Take one foot at a time back to the floor now. Arms alongside the body. And we're going to roll up into bridge pose. Press down with the feet. Inhale, lift the pelvis. Slowly roll up. Upper back, middle back, all the way up. So that we've got a lovely chin lock. Arms are alongside the body. And the knees are hip width apart. So you could feel free to stay here or just roll up and down. Or we're going to hold the pose now. Either like this, or bringing one foot, then the other, closer in towards us. Hold onto the ankles for a deeper back bend, if that feels good for you. Tucking the chin. And breathing in and out of the heart. Release the hands, walk the feet away from you a little bit, take your arms out to a T, and we're going to slowly roll down vertebra by vertebra, back down to the floor. Inhale, rock forward towards the tailbone, letting the lower back peel up off the floor, and then exhale, plant the lower back to the floor. We're going to shuffle over to the right side of our mat now and bring one knee at a time into the chest and prepare for a supine twist. Inhale and exhale, roll both knees over to your left hand. If that's enough for you, staying here with your chin tucked or looking over the right shoulder, or for a deeper stretch, we're going to straighten out through our top leg. Now you can just bring your left hand to your thigh or to your calf and notice how that feels for you. Long, smooth breaths. Bring the knees back together and inhale one knee at a time back to the ceiling and one foot at a time back to the floor. Shuffle over to the left side now. Bring one knee at a time into the chest and roll both knees over to your right hand. You could stay here looking over your right shoulder, chin tucked, or over your left shoulder, or you can straighten out through your top leg. Bringing the bottom leg away, bringing your hand to wherever is comfortable for you and finding a lovely stretch. Now bringing both knees together, we're going to push up on one arm and one hand and come up to sitting. begin, you can have your blanket or your cushion to sit up with now. Really helps to tilt the pelvis forward. We're going to start by taking our legs wide out on the mat now. So take your fingers down, lift up through your hips and make sure that you're right on your sitting bones. If you can't straighten the legs, don't worry, just energetically send an energetic energy down into the earth, flexing the feet and bringing the fingertips to the floor. Inhale all the way up through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, maybe just creep your hands forward and find your ideal stretch in your inner thighs and up into your groins. If you're more flexible, of course, you can come down a little further, maybe onto your forearms or maybe stretching out. We're breathing energy up through the inside of our legs, into the pelvic floor, all the way up to the point between the eyebrows, and exhaling it back down through the front of the body. Now we're ready to do Baddha Konasana. So bringing one heel, then the other, as close as you can into your groin to be comfortable. If your knees are sensitive, you might want to bring your feet back from that. Just notice how that feels for your knees. You can rock a little bit from side to side and then find a comfortable hand hold. Traditionally done with the fingers interlaced under the feet, but if that closes your heart down, bring the hands back to the ankles or wherever they're comfortable. Let's inhale, bring the knees up towards us, and exhale, let the knees go. Lift up through the spine, close down the eyes, and tune back into your slow, smooth breath. We're going to take Viloma Rakchaka now. We're going to take a deep, expansive breath in through full yogic breath. Hold the breath. Gazing at the point between the eyebrows. Exhale a third of the breath. Navel draws in. Another third. Navel draws in. Another third. All the breath out. Take an even deeper, more expansive inhale. Hold the breath, and you can either do that same method or visualize a third of the breath coming out through the throat. Hold. Out through the heart. Hold. And all the breath out. Belly draws in. Bringing the hands to the knees and the knees back together. Give yourself a big hug, rounding the spine. And release. We'll come to some forward bends now, taking Janu Sirsasana. This is where you may like to use a strap of some kind if you have one. Again, sitting up on a blanket or a cushion is really great to tilt the pelvis forward. Our left leg comes out and our right knee comes out to the right. Now, if you have a sensitive knee, you could pop a block or a pillow under there. If the knee is sensitive, you probably want to place your foot on the calf rather than the inner thigh. So just notice how that feels for you. Flex the bottom foot, lift all the way up through the spine, take the arms up to a sky, and as you exhale, start to come forward, just bring the pelvis over the femur bones and bring the fingertips to the floor. If you like to use a strap, you have a strap around the ball of the foot, and that helps you to move into the first part of this pose. Inhale and exhale. Maybe you can come a little further forward without letting your spine round. And on the next exhale, come fully into your pose just as it serves you. If you're more flexible, You're bringing the belly towards the thigh and the forehead towards the shin. The hands can be where they're comfortable, holding on to the big toes, or taking one wrist and holding on here as you come down. Find a pose that is comfortable enough for you to breathe smoothly and easily, but that you're also challenging yourself. That's working your edge and not beyond it. The full focus is on the breath. The gaze is at the point between the eyebrows, breathing in through the sole of the foot, up through the back of the leg, into the pelvic floor, shooting that energy all the way up to the point between the eyebrows, and exhaling, softening the whole front of the body and down through the front of the leg. Next, inhale, we're going to draw in through the lower belly, walk the hands back up. And a nice pose to counterbalance with this is Tara Asana. So we roll a little bit towards the right, stretch that left leg out, and you might like to use a block or something to place your hand on here. So we're going to come into a beautiful side twist, placing your right hand on the block, sweep your left arm in front of the face, and come all the way up into a side bend. You can look down at the floor, turn to face forward, or tuck your chin looking up towards the sky. Long, smooth breaths. And as you exhale, float that arm back down. We'll transition to the other side now. So the right leg stretches out. And it could be quite different for you on this side. Left foot can either come to the shin, or it can come right up to the inner thigh, and again popping something under that knee if it's sensitive. Finding your pose, and as you inhale, float the arms up, hook the thumbs, and exhale, start to come forward over that front leg, bringing the fingertips to the floor. Deep breath in. Exhale, maybe you can creep forward a little bit more. Find your maximum stretch without needing to round your back. It's windy. And as you exhale, start to come into your pose. It's nice to have your elbows out wide so the back door of the heart is open. Breathe in through the back of the body, breathe out through the front of the body, softening. And as you inhale, draw in through the lower belly, walk your hands back up, and we're going to roll over a little bit to our left side, stretch our right leg out, maybe have your hand on the block and come to Tara Asana. If no block, left fingertips are to the floor, bring the sole of your foot down, float your right arm up to the sky and bring yourself up into your beautiful side stretch. And exhale, coming back down. Roll yourself into a little ball. Take a few breaths. And to counter pose, we'll come into reverse table pose. If your wrists are not strong, you might just want to come up and down and not hold the pose. If your wrist feels strong, you can hold the pose. So more easeful is to have your hands facing backwards or out to the sides. If you're more experienced, you might want to bring your hands in to face you. Press your feet down to the floor. As you inhale, lift up through your hips And as you exhale, maybe take your head back through your shoulders. Deep breaths in and out. And as you exhale, bring the hips down, tucking the chin, and coming out of the pose. We're going to come into our inversion now. So it's lovely to have a supported inversion. If you do have a bolster or you have a swab from your couch or a big pillow, you can place that under you to elevate your hips. But if you're on your moon time, it's better to just have your hips flat on the floor and your legs up. So if you are using a pillow or a bolster, I'll just demonstrate. You're going to have your hips on that bolster. Bring yourself back down so your shoulders are comfortable, and one leg at a time can come up. Palms can come up to the ceiling. If you don't have a bolster, you might like a little bit of extra support with your hands. Rock from side to side and just bring your hands underneath you. Stretch the fingers out and bring one leg at a time up to the ceiling. Find a comfortable position for your hands. If you don't need extra support, just arms out to the side. So find a comfortable position for you. Starting the process of relaxation and letting all the energy drain down from the legs back into the hips, all through the belly to the chest, and let that energy pool in your throat and in your head. You can come back to full yogic breath if you like. So another beautiful mantra I can teach you today is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I bow down to the Supreme Light and to the Supreme Light, or the God within me. You could be taking full yogic breath and mentally repeating Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I bow down to the Supreme Light and to the Supreme Light within me. We're going to start to transition now from our inversion into our wonderful Shavasana. So if you have your hips up on the bolster, you're going to bring your knees into the chest, give them a good squeeze, and then gently move that bolster out away from you. And that bolster or that cushion could now come under your knees. Your arms can come out to the side, and it's really beneficial to have a blanket under your head and your neck for a little bit more support. Have a blanket with you can put over you so that you're not going to get cold. And sometimes people actually like a little rolled mat or something under their ankles as well if their ankles are sensitive. So have everything you need to relax. Of course, if you're not comfortable on your back, feel free to lie on your side. Now everyone's comfortable. Let the earth rise up to meet you. set your intention for the next 10 minutes. You're going to give yourself this gift of letting go, surrendering, and coming to complete peace. We'll move through the body, relaxing every part of the body and then letting it go completely. Soles of the feet, the lower legs, all through the knees, back of thighs, front of thighs, whole legs, tuning into the pelvic floor, imagining a beautiful red light and mentally hearing the mantra Lam, the resonance of Muladhara chakra. Lam. And feeling relaxation and ease all through the pelvis. Let the buttocks relax completely. And visualizing a beautiful yellow light. And mentally repeating the mantra Vam, Vam, the resonance of Swadhisthana chakra. Relaxation all through the belly, letting the middle of the back melt down to the floor, and imagining a beautiful orange golden sun shining out through your belly. Mentally hearing the mantra Ram, Ram, and letting relaxation pour through the rib cage, letting the upper back start to relax, and feel that the heart is wide open, front door, back door of the heart, and as if you could stretch your arms out, right out into infinity, and mentally hearing the mantra Yam, Yam. The shoulder blades slide down the back, collarbones open, and letting peace and relaxation flow down through the arms, all the way to the hands and fingertips. Hands reaching out into the world as an extension of the heart. Bringing the awareness into the throat now, and mentally hearing the mantra Hum, Hum. Energy and relaxation pour up the throat, all through the brain, letting every brain cell be washed with healing light. Every facial muscle relax completely. And bringing your awareness to the point between the eyebrows. Mentally hearing the mantra Om, Om. Whole body is so relaxed, so at peace. You can let it go and come back home to yourself. can either stay in your Shavasana if you're in a position to do so, or if you would like to start to come back and come into a meditation, you can do that also. So start to come back to my voice and the sounds around you. And then to the soft breath of the nostrils, cooler air moving in and warmer air moving out. Feeling the sensation of the points of contact with the body on the earth. And gently starting to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Bringing the awareness back into the body. And perhaps turning the head very gently from side to side. You might like to take a nice stretch and inhale the arms above the head. Stretch out through the legs. Maybe tense the whole body and then release it. Nice stretch. Release. Bring one knee at a time into the chest. And roll over to your right side. And stay here for a minute before coming up to sitting. And then coming up into a seated position where you can be comfortable. It doesn't have to be cross-legged on a floor. It could be sitting in a chair. It could be having your legs outstretched. If you are comfortable cross-legged, maybe sitting up on a pillow. You want to have a nice tall spine so that energy can flow freely. And the hands could just be up on your lap. They could be in Chin Mudra. Or we can take Chit Akash Mudra, bringing the hands together, interlacing them, making a steeple. And as you bring your hands down, relax your elbows in towards you. And just notice if this feels to you like the energy can be felt rising up to the third eye a little more with your hands here. If it doesn't work for you, just use whatever variation you're comfortable with. And start to tune back into your natural breath. Noticing the full movement of the inhale and the exhale. You might just want to continue following your breath or overlay a mantra with the breath. So today we could practice together with the So Hum mantra at the top of the inhale. So at the end of the exhale, hum. I am that. I am spirit. I am connected with all things. I am that I've been searching for. So, hum. And you could say this aloud, or it could just be mentally to yourself with the breath. So, hum. So, hum. When your mind is quiet, let the mantra or the breath go and just let yourself dive into that spaciousness. And then when the thought comes, perhaps come back to your breath or your mantra. Let's imagine the beautiful green light of Anahata Chakra at the heart now, flowing from the heart all the way out through the body. Whole body resonating with healing light. I'm feeling a deep sense of gratitude, firstly for ourselves, for all that we are, for showing up here today, doing something good for ourselves. Shining our light in the world. And then expand that gratitude to those that we love. And sending out that healing light to them as we visualize them now. Feeling gratitude for all our positive life circumstances. Having this body, perhaps having a roof over our head, and food on the table. Now sending our love and our light to all those people we don't know. And to anyone that needs that light. So many people right now out there on this earth. Let's rub the palms of our hands together and send out healing love through the vibration of the Om to everyone in the world, sending our gratitude back down into Mother Earth that sustains us. Inhaling. Take the arms out wide. Bringing the hands to the heart. With great respect and love, we end today's practice. Praying that the benefits of our practice continue to blossom within us and benefit all beings. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.